Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you with kind of a multi-purpose video tonight here to give you guys an update on some things I want to talk about and the channel, some guns I have in for review, and I guess a new gun that I just bought. So I want to share all that with you. So let's start off with the fun stuff first. A couple of new guns I have in for review, and I've got to get on my range reports. I'm so sorry. This time of year is like super busy as a musician and teacher, and I have not been as active making new content. And I guess this is more for my Patreons than anything else, because you guys, if you're just following the main channel, are getting like 2 new videos a day, and I have videos set to release all the way until November now. I think I have everything uploaded, set with new thumbnails and descriptions that I want to have for my old channel. And yeah, it's a lot of content. I didn't realize how many videos I had made. So I'm trying to get some stuff done out here. In fact, right now I have the camera and everything set up because I got to film a garage portion of this range report on the CZ75P06. Now, I did a range report on this very firearm on my old channel, but apparently I didn't save it anywhere. I don't know where it went. So I'm redoing that one. And I got a little product review of an interesting weapons light. And so I got to get that done tonight as well. But let me show you what I have on the table, and both of these are going to come from my good friend Jack. I knew he had one for me to try out because I just returned his Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7, and he had 2 new ones for me. And both of these are in interesting calibers. Calibers I have reviewed before, but I don't really review guns in these calibers very often. The first one is now I'm probably going to mispronounce this now, is it a Tanfoglio or Tanfoglio? I guess they call it the Witness here in the United States. It's imported by EAA. It's made in Italy, and this is a CZ75 clone. But what's really interesting is this one is chambered in 38 Super. So that is definitely different. So I guess I looked up online a little bit, and there's a certain model designation, I guess the rest of the world knows this as, but here in the United States, it's called the Witness. And it's made in Italy. And let's see here, anything else about it that's interesting? They say it's a modified CZ clone, and I did notice it doesn't have the roll pin that goes through the slide. So maybe this one's safe to dry fire. I'm not going to dry fire until I find out. But yeah, this one is in 38 Super. That's going to be interesting. And then we have the Walther, what I jokingly refer to as the WIMP, the WMP. So this is in 22 Magnum. Now, I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this. And I know a lot of people were really excited when it hit the market because there are a few companies that make 22 Magnum pistols, like Kel-Tec. And of course, you guys know I'm not a big Kel-Tec fan. And some of the other 22 Magnum pistols just don't seem like they're that high of quality. But Walther's come out with one. Now, it's my understanding this one is actually made by Umarex, which I guess Walther does own. But it doesn't feel as solid as a PPQ or maybe a PDP. But it feels pretty good. Interesting kind of shape and design. It is hammer fired. You can see this little hammer here in the back. That's kind of interesting. A little bit different design. Magazine catch is interesting. And I'll talk about that in the range report. But I have this on the workbench. So I have that coming up. So those are the 2 new guns for me to start working on. Then I picked up a gun today that honestly I never thought I would own. And it's not that this gun is necessarily interesting or rare when it comes to the world as a whole, but here in the United States, this particular gun was for many years, and we're talking a good 25 to 30 years, unobtainium. You could not get it because it was banned from importation. And it's a Glock. And it's a Glock 28. So this is a subcompact, same size as a Glock 26, which of course is a 9mm, or a Glock 27 at 40mm. This one's in 380. And the reason it was banned is because it doesn't meet the points for importation on the ATF's importation list. So Glock, I guess in collaboration with, I guess it's Lipsies is what I heard, convinced them to make a limited production run of the 28 in the United States. So it's not an imported pistol. It says on the slide, USA. It has all the Georgia proof marks on it. So that's how they get around the ban. And this is a Glock 28. And I always wanted to get my hands on one. As I said, other countries have these in the Glock 25 because some other countries in the world have these weird laws where you're not allowed to own a pistol chambered in a military cartridge. And of course, 9mm and 40 meet that definition. But 380 is not a caliber that is used by any militaries. So people in South America and in Mexico can own a Glock 28. And I guess they're really popular there. And Glock has made them in Austria and imported them into those countries. And the only way you could ever get one here in the United States was if they were imported for a law enforcement agency, and then once they decided they either didn't want it or whatever, it could be sold on the civilian market. So there are a few of those unicorn Austrian-made Glock 28s out there. They are super rare. But if you ever wanted to see a video on one, that's all you could do is go to YouTube, and you would see mainly videos in foreign languages of people shooting and reviewing these and unboxing them. But it's really cool to have one. And something that I'm going to talk about when I do a proper unboxing video with this, because I kind of consider this one kind of a collector Glock. I know people like collector Glock. I have a few of those actually, and I rarely buy Glocks anymore, but I had to get this one. That was something I found interesting about this was for a long time when I saw reviews or write-ups on the Glock 25 or the Glock 28, everyone said it used a modified direct blowback system. And when I would see breakdowns or field strips or just the gun in operation, it didn't look like it was a direct blowback gun. And this is supposed to be an exact copy from the Austrian ones. And it's not direct blowback. It actually has a tilting barrel. It works just like a regular Browning tilting barrel action gun. The dimensions are obviously a little bit different, and it has this kind of weird cutout. I don't know if you can see that right there on the barrel hood, right there. But besides that, it seems to just be a regular Browning tilting barrel gun. So I don't know why for so long people had the misconception of this being some type of direct blowback or modified direct blowback. And I knew it wasn't when I saw its operation, how it field stripped, and the knowledge that I had of the gun. But now that I have an example in my hands, I know that I was right. And I'm always right. I tell people I know everything. Jokingly, obviously, but I actually do. And I guess this is another example of those things that are myths or misinformation. So when people talked about these guns, oh yes, it's modified direct blowback. Are you sure? I mean, I'm looking at video. Oh yeah, it is. And now that I have one, it's not. And that gives me a segue into the other thing I want to talk about. I know a few days ago I made a video about the Washington assault weapons ban and what I'm seeing some people spreading around the internet, that if you have a gun that is now defined as a assault weapon in Washington, if you just get fed up and say, I'm going to leave the state and I'm going to move to Florida, or I'm going to move to Texas, or I'm going to move to Oklahoma, and you pack up everything, you sell your house, and you leave the state, that the state of Washington was going to come after you and arrest you and extradite you back to the state. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. They would want the weapons out of the state. Why would they be mad if you took them? And I got some information and some answers. And the truth is not what people were saying. The truth is there was a provision in the magazine ban bill that they had that if you took the magazines out of state and then brought them back in, so if they were in your possession and you went to another state to go shooting or whatever, and they were still in your possession when you brought them back, they were still grandfathered in. It would not be considered importation of a firearm. But when it came to the assault weapons ban bill, it doesn't have that provision. So if you have an AR-15 and you go to, let's say, Idaho to go shooting, you're not allowed to bring the weapon back into the state. Now, how would they ever know? I don't think they ever would. It's not going to be something that can be easily enforced. But that was the provision that everyone's like, oh my gosh, if you leave the state, they're going to come after you. No. If you leave the state and you move out of state and you never take the guns back to Washington, you're not in trouble. So what I thought was correct is correct. And I want to remind people that if you're going to spread misinformation and lies, like with the pistol brace amnesty stuff or whatever, these bills, these rules, these regulations, they're already bad enough. You don't have to lie about them. And when you spread misinformation and lies and you fearmonger, it doesn't help our cause. It doesn't help our cause. It makes gun owners fearful and anxious, and they have wrong information. It makes people that actually know the truth, whether they're pro-gun or anti-gun, realize that, number one, you're an idiot. But also, it shows that you're not informed. And so I'm not saying anybody watching this channel is guilty of this. But what I am saying is make sure before you spread information, especially regarding the commission of felonies, saying, hey, if you do this after this law is enacted, you're going to be a felon. I highly recommend you go do your own research and find out the truth, because misinformation doesn't help us. It doesn't help anybody. Make sure you're spreading good information and the truth. And just don't go out there blabbing your mouth because you heard it one place. I'm telling you, if it sounds ridiculous, most likely it is ridiculous. Another good example, and in fact, I had to correct somebody on one of the NFA Facebook groups I'm a member of. I once again saw somebody talking about how if you attempt to amnesty register like a B&T or a CZ Scorpion, a foreign-made pistol, that they're going to deny it and come to your house and arrest you. And I literally went to the frequently asked questions part of the ATF website regarding the pistol brace rule and showed them that they even said it was already considered a, built before you got it, therefore 922R doesn't apply, and they're not going to come after you, and it's not illegal. But people are still spreading that misinformation. So make sure you're spreading good information and know the facts. So anyway, that's what's going on. Channel is strong. We're rebuilding. I have all the videos up that I think are worthy of being put back up with a few edits. A couple of them I made where I show the attachment of suppressors. Even though YouTube allows it again, I kind of edited that stuff out. So everything's up. So we have 2 videos a day until the end of April, and then every single day until November, we have 1 video a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have 2 videos on Saturdays, which are usually product reviews, because nobody's really watching YouTube on Saturdays. Trust me, I see all the data analytics and all that, so I just put my product reviews out there because they get less traction anyway. And then Sunday mornings, I have a video. Usually I try to make it a non-firearm or a firearm-related video that maybe be more like commentary, like why do I like vertical foregrips or the like, or how to load double stack magazines or double feed magazines versus single feed magazines, stuff like that, or tutorial videos. And then I leave my Sunday nights open to make kind of current content, maybe political commentary, news, or something of that nature. So that's what I have going, and I'm still making new content that I'm kind of interjecting, and then I take whatever video let's say I make a video on this gun right here. I might set it for, let's say, a mid-May release. I'll take the video I already have set for May and put it at the ends for like November, whatever. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm putting out my new stuff as well. Of course, my Patreons get to see it ahead of time. So the channel is strong. Got some cool guns to review. I still got a few I have to get to the range. I gotta find time because there's 2 guns I have to shoot on the 100-yard range. And I just have not had time to get over there and do that. I've just been so busy. And yeah, I got a new gun. I got a list of videos to make, list of product reviews to make. Life is good, I guess. So that's what's going on. I wanted to give you guys an update and just come to you tonight with a little bit of information. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. If you made it to the end, somehow say Glock 28 in the comment. And that way I know that you made it to the end and you're like one of my ultimate fanboys, right? Or fangirls, who knows. You're one of my vault dwellers, as I jokingly refer to everybody as. And it means so much to me because while I might not be the biggest channel and I might not have the biggest following, and I'm not the most charismatic, I will tell you that the people that follow my channel are the best subscribers on Rumble and YouTube. They just are. I get so much great interaction. I'm unworthy of it. So anyway, so Glock 28 in the comments. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I got to get filming a couple of videos. So, as always, thanks for watching.